Great. Well, welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm Zarathustra, broadcasting live from Tulum, Mexico. So, today we're going to talk about freedom. That's our topic of the day. Thanks to Hilde to come up with, always coming up with topics for me to talk about because basically, I think February of 2025 will be 10 years, 10-year anniversary of the 5D Academy. So naturally, I run out of topics. We've been, when you've been having the academy for 5 years and talking about different things, eventually you don't know what to talk about. So it's nice when other people come up with ideas and share with you they make suggestions to you. So, um, one moment, I have 5 people on the Zoom that they want to come in. First of all, those of you who want to communicate with me directly, I recommend that you sign up through my website, which is zarathustra.tv. And then we can see each other, we can communicate with each other. Lately, I've been able to uh, get my Instagram going so I can also talk. Let's see if I can. No, it's not working. I don't know what happened. Um, I don't know. Sometimes the equipments, they cooperate, sometimes they don't. So I was hoping that I'm able to answer Instagram questions, but this doesn't look like it's working today. I don't know what happened to you. I may be making a mistake. Anyway, so freedom. And what I mean by freedom, let's get into this and explain it a little bit more in details. Is I'm not talking about financial freedom. I'm not talking about freedom of speech, freedom, sexuality, freedom of movement, being able to go wherever you want to go, or dress the way you want to dress, or say whatever you want to say. That's not the kind of the freedom I'm talking about. I'm talking about inner freedom, and which is very important to me. And the recognition of, because the other freedom is a freedom of the objects, and objects, they come and go. Objects, they bring short-term happiness, but then they disappear. So finally I get the object of my desire, whether it's a person, or it's a car, or it's money, or I want to have a child, um, or status. I want to have a particular kind of a job, or whatever that is, or I want to be living somewhere else, or finally I reach my goal that I'm going to work as a healer or a shaman or a guru or an actor, actresses, physician, doctor, dentist, whatever that is. But that type of object brings temporarily happiness. You get your object of your desire, you're happy for a period of time, and then that happiness disappears. And we want something else. We want to be somewhere else. We want someone else. So, or whatever that is that we got through is going to bring disappointments. So the freedom I'm talking about is inner peace, to become free from the torture that the mind implements on us. the stories that the mind come up with, and the darkness that the mind takes us to, and and the duality that the mind creates. When I'm here, I want to be there. When I'm there, I want to be somewhere else. Uh, Always wanting, thinking that things are better or more happening elsewhere, or if I'm with another person, it's going to be better. That kind of a thing that the mind plays with us. Or if I'm left out of this event or this party or this trip that all of my friends went to and I wasn't able to go with them, and the thoughts come like I'm missing out on something. And then, or the feelings, the emotions come. And whatever that is, I wake up in the morning and I feel depressed. I get some news about something and I feel sad, or I feel down, or I feel angry, or happy, whatever that is, whatever emotion that arises. So being a victim of our thoughts, being a victim of our emotions, and all these ups and downs that we experience throughout the day or throughout our lives. And I wanted to be free of that, free of jealousy, free of greed, free of anger, and free of loneliness, things of that nature that creates suffering. So this freedom that I'm referring to must be the number one priority in our lives. And that requires a commitment to it, that committing to be free. But what is this freedom? Besides the fact of recognizing the games that the mind plays and the emotions that they take you up and down and they enslave you, or we get very much involved with the past. Just one moment. Okay. We get very much involved with or trapped into trying to fix the trauma has been inflicted to us throughout our childhood. And that is another trap that a lot of people get stuck into, that they feel like they have to do therapy after therapy after therapy. That's kind of being slave to your emotions or your past, and have to just constantly going back and forth, trying to fix things and upgrade yourself or update yourself. But it's endless. It's never going to work. You never get anywhere. It just feeds itself. And it's like this really cycle of keep repeating itself, going up, going down, going up, going down. Oh, I realized this and blah, blah, blah. And then you're just down in the gutter. The freedom I refer to requires a commitment. And this commitment begins with, number one, is that committing to being truthful and honest to yourself, which most of us have a very, very hard time to do. Number one, most humanity doesn't recognize it. And so we call it the sleepy or unconscious world. People who are unconscious, people who are asleep, that we refer to them in the spiritual realm, and they don't recognize that. And then as you enter into the spiritual world and you start working on yourself and you're developing your spirituality, there are different layers And most people get caught into therapy and trying to fix their past stuff. And vast majority of spiritual seekers, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a step they need to go through. And then once in a while, a few pop out of that and they realize, like, okay, this is enough. I've done enough therapy. I need to go to the next level. Then you become slowly, if you're lucky, you start to realize that, okay, wait a minute. I'm not really my thoughts. I'm not really my emotions. I'm not really my body. And step by step is a ladder. Again, none of it is good or bad. We're not just trying to punish anybody because they're in this level of their spiritual evolvement and they're working on themselves in a certain level and putting them down. These are steps that we have to go through if they're happening to us in our lives. But then there's some people who are lucky enough that somehow, through the grace of Her Majesty, the Supreme, the grace shines. And then you have a glimpse of the truth of who you are. And you start realizing yourself. And then that gives you an opportunity to just move to a higher level of consciousness. So there is a moment that in this seemingly evolution, it looks like it, in this pathway, in this direction that you are climbing up to the top, to the very peak of consciousness, as you, whether you can accomplish it in one lifetime or if there is lifetimes or they're not, but for now we stick to this life, and you're just going up the ladder. There are moments that you may all of a sudden get a glimpse of this, which I'm going to explain to you right now, that wait a minute, I need to be committed, or I have this really strong feeling that I need to really be truthful to myself. I really need to honor my own truth. I need to really speak my own truth. And I need to be committed to this freedom of being really focused on only one thing in this life. This should be my very, very focal point, that it's awakening to free myself from this prison that I'm in. And in order to free myself from this prison, I have to also be selfish. It does require a level of selfishness, because you have to develop this strength within yourself to say no to other people, to say no to certain situations, to say no to the authority, to say even no to your own desires, to say no to your parents, to say no to your lover, to say no to your children, to say no to the country, to say no to the religion, to say no to the dogmas, to all these do's and don'ts. Because your commitment is to freedom. You want to be free. Again, I am not talking about freedom as far as for those of you maybe just jumped in here earlier on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, I'm not talking about physical freedom. I'm not talking about that, oh, I live in a free country, I can dress the way I want, I can travel, I can have a freedom of speech. If I want to criticize the government, I can do it, and no one's going to torture me or imprison me, or I can dress the way I like. I'm not talking about that freedom. I'm talking about this commitment to inner freedom. And this is a very, very tough stage in your spiritual evolution, because there's so much fear built inside us. There's so many blockages. There's so many taboos that, okay, I'm not free to think about my sexuality. Even in your own private thinking, you feel ashamed of, and you think whatever, let's say whatever is going on sexually in your head, and then it's already attached with guilt and shame again about it. It's just coming with an attachment of guilt and shame. So you're even afraid in your own mind to think like, okay, these thoughts are dark. These sexual thoughts are dark. And you get contracted and you feel bad, or you get indigestion, or you get nervous because you had these thoughts. I mean, it's very deep. And the recognition of that, to recognize that wait a minute, I'm so deeply programmed in this. And I'm not just talking about sexuality. Sexuality is only one of many, many different things. It's just standing up and being, let's say you're working for, most of us, first of all, is our encounters with our parents. And a lot of us with our father, the father figure is like, let's say, he's strong, he's stubborn, he's a bully. It puts you down. It tells you to shut up. You're just 10 years old. You have no authority to speak. And as you're growing up, you're really afraid to stand up to your father. And a lot of people you talk to, and they say, oh yeah, I went to medical school. I hated medical school. I wanted to become an artist and paint, or become a musician. And I went to 5 years of medical school, and I tortured myself to satisfy my dad. I've heard millions of these stories. I mean, I've been there myself, and I'm sure most of you have experienced that. Trying to satisfy your dad, trying to satisfy your mom, and then it creates a lot of stress, and it creates a lot of resentments that it stays with us for all of our lives, because we weren't able to stand up and say no. So when I say commitment to freedom is the commitment to be honest to yourself, despite the fear that arises from the authority, or even with your teacher. You're in school and they're bullying you, and you stand up and you say no. Or you're working in a work area, let's say your boss is sexually harassing you, or they're manipulating you, or they're putting you down, or they're racist, or whatever the situation. Or your colleagues is to stand up and speak your truth, because there's a lot of fear comes out. Like, what if I get fired? What if they don't like me? What if they don't love me? What if I get put aside and I get abandoned? And it's like recognizing those moments that the fear arises inside you, that this is really deep, and recognizing that this authority, this father figure, your boss, or your mom is a bully, or your older brother, or you have this teacher, or I don't know, your whatever is the situation. It could be from the government, from the church. You live in a subdivision in this community that, they have a certain belief system, and if you do something that is not matching their belief system, they're going to get rid of you. Maybe I've heard many stories like you're in an ashram or you're in a spiritual community and there's the guru, and everybody's the disciple of a guru. And if one person is talking shit about the guru, or maybe the guru says you all have to be vegetarian, and everybody's becoming very dogmatic about it. Or maybe the guru says, okay, in this community there's no, you can't have sex, because if you have sex you're not going to get to God. And then everyone's becoming really dogmatic about it, and something in your heart says, no, I want to eat meat. Or something in your heart says, hey, I'm really in love with this person and I want to share my bed with them. But there's the fear that you're going to be castrated, you're going to be thrown out of the community. So, and those are the moments that's your commitment to freedom. And in order to execute that is to recognize the recognition of that, first of all, this authority is not another person. It's God itself appearing into your life as the authority. Okay? The person who doesn't realizes the oneness is looking at everything as others. The person who starts to awaken to the truth of who they are, they begin to see that there are no others. Everyone and everything is a part of their own selves. And then when this authority comes and does that to you, is you recognize that this is God itself testing you, hitting you on your head, shut up, you're a 13-year-old girl, or you're a kid and you're not allowed to talk, and just keep your mouth shut, and da 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 da. And recognizing this, that this is God itself testing you and putting you in this position in order for you to be able to say no, in order for you to be able to develop over and over again. Finally you realize, wait a minute, this is a test for me to speak my truth. This is a test for me to walk my own way. I remember Master Papaji Punjaji used to say, where the lion goes, he cuts his own path. The lion in the jungle does not follow anybody's path, because the lion is the king. And wherever he goes, he creates a new path. Other people will follow, but the lion's not going to follow anybody's path. And be the lion. And I experienced that in my life. When this healing power came, or when the awakening came, or the call came for me, this is a long time ago, this is like in 1990, 91, 92. And all of a sudden, being a good boy, working in an insurance agency, making money, running an agency, having employees, having a very good income, and then suddenly quitting everything and growing my hair long, and then suddenly just leaving my life in the US and going to India to sit with the guru, that freaked out my family. What happened here? Wait a minute. Something happened in Zoom. Just one moment. I lost my connection. I don't know if you guys are seeing me. Just there.
Recording in progress.
Yeah? What, did I lose you? Were you able to see me, or we lost each other? Are you there? Oh. Did you lose the visual? Can you see me? Huh?
We could not hear you and we could not see you, but we can hear and see you clearly now.
Okay, from what point you didn't hear me anymore?
From 91 or something like that, and when the awakening calling was appearing in your life.
Yes. Just one moment. So, yeah, it was like the calling was so powerful, and it was like very strong duality of one part of it is like, what are you doing, Zarathustra? You're leaving your life and you're going to India, and you have a cush life, you have a very good job, you're making very good money, you're young, you have everything working for you, and then quitting everything and going in this direction. And there was tremendous amount of pressure on me from every direction, from family, from friends, a lot of pressure. Like everybody was just saying, what are you doing? You're crazy. But the force that was pulling me to go in that direction was so strong. It was so powerful that I just could not say no to it. But yet, there was a lot of guilt and shame coming along with this process. At that time, I didn't realize, I didn't know, I was just a kid. Spiritually, from awareness point of view, of course, not a kid as far as physically or as far as the age goes. I was an adult, but spiritually, I didn't know, I didn't understand. But I had to disappoint a lot of people. And even to this day, I disappoint people. I have disappointed a lot of my students. I've disappointed a lot of friends. I disappointed my family. I've disappointed organizers from work, clients. I have disappointed a lot of people, and I continue disappointing them. And this disappointment is based on my commitment to freedom, the commitment into really following what I feel is the right thing, what really feels right. And that has happened in different sectors of my life, from blowing off really great business opportunities. Like all of a sudden I could have been very well off financially, but something in there didn't feel right. It was like, something's not right, I cannot do this. And it's either I'm going to sell my soul and I'm going to do something that doesn't really feel right to me, or I'm just going to hold my ground. Even though it appears to be an amazing business deal, it appears to be like there's a lot of money gonna come and I don't really have to struggle financially. Da, 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 da. And I said no. because something inside me was like, and it's frightening. It's frightening. But then you go back to your fundamentals. You go back to the very essence of who you are, which is you realize that you're taken care of. You realize this is God's plan. You realize this is a test. God is testing you. It brings this carrot, this situation in front of you, whether it's a very luscious, beautiful woman, or if it's money, or if this is status, you're going, or this is I don't know, some kind of TV show contract, or wow, I'm going to go big, or I'm going to be rich, or I'm going to da 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 da. It's like, it brings it in front of you, plays with your desires, and it wants to, it's like Mara. Mara wants to pull you into the samsara, into this world of dualities, want to suck you in. And the recognition that this is God itself is acting in this way to pull you in, to see that are you going to stay in your center? Because intellectually everything looks like everybody's telling you, you're such an idiot, you're so stupid, Zarathustra, for not signing this contract or not doing this thing. Oh my God, your future is going to be set. But down deep inside you, this is not the right way. So you're being tested. Are you able to stay in your center? And even though you're not going to sign this amazing, great contract, are you still going to stay here and trust that God, existence, is going to take care of you as it has taken care of you so far? You have always been carried and taken care of. You have always been provided. Even in the darkest moment in your life, when everything falls apart, everything's taken away from you, somehow you're always taken care of. And what's been taken away from you has been illusion. It's been false identity. That's what's been taken away from you, not the truth. Because there are moments in life, everything's gonna fall apart. Your boyfriend, your husband is gonna leave you. Same time, all of a sudden, your best friend dies. You get fired from work. Your landlord gives you a notice to kick you out. You're cooking in a kitchen, you don't pay attention, all of a sudden you burn all of your hair. And existence comes and pulls all of these things out of you. It's not from malice intention. It's not like you being punished. People think like, oh, what does this mean? What does it mean? I'm being punished. Oh, Zarathustra, maybe somebody put a dark spell on me. No, it's none of these things. Nobody put a dark spell on you, and no one is punishing you. Those are the thoughts and programming for ABCD for kids. Oh, I need to go to a psychic so they tell me what's going on. I need to maybe blah, blah, blah. No, it has nothing to do. Existence is taking what's not real off and it wants to test you to see what you're made out of. Can you still stay still? Despite you lost your hair. You got cancer, you lost all of your hair. Your best friend died. You had this beautiful house and you lost your house. Now you live in a shitty apartment. But is this affecting who you are? Was your identity your house? Was your identity your hair? Was your identity your best friend? Yeah, these are impactful events. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, I don't want to just paint a picture like, oh, we should just, whatever. Oh, no, it's painful. It's serious. It's metamorphosis. It's shedding your old skin. It's confusing. It's scary. It's powerful. It's transforming. It's not an easy thing. Okay? It's terrifying. But it's not coming from punishment. It's coming from love. Because the maker, the creator, the boss, Her Majesty, the Supreme, is testing you, as well as out of love is helping you to realize that you are stillness, your silence, your presence. You're not this body. You're not your house. You're not your hair. You're not your money in the bank. What you are is eternal and it's always here. And nothing can touch that. Nothing can touch you. The essence of who you are, it's not an object that, oh, I am this house. If they take the house away, then it's finished. Or I am my partner. If I lose my partner, my life is finished. No. You're not an object. You're presence. And when you make this commitment to freedom, you can expect these kind of things happening to you. Because you're going to be battle tested. You're going to be challenged. Because getting to the top is not for pussycats. Getting to the very peaks of consciousness is not for pussycats. You have to walk the talk. Not many people make it all the way, but those who make it, then they enter into the kingdom of heaven. Then they discover inner peace. Then they discover the truth of who they are. And they're no longer subject to ups and downs, the yo-yo of life. Oh, wow, I live in Poland and Russians are coming. Ah! Oh, wow, they're coming. No, you're just still. Oh, they're coming? Fine, you're here. Oh, you lost your money in stock market? You're here. Oh, somebody loves you and they're going to pour money at your feet? You're here. Oh, you got cancer, you're going to die in 3 months? You're here. You have no ups and downs. You're free. Whether things go your way in your life or things don't go your way, it doesn't matter. You are free. Free from the illusion. Free from the samsara. Because I don't care how bad, how big, how rich, how pretty, how strong you are. Eventually, you're going to lose all of it. Eventually, you're going to lose your hair. You're going to lose your beauty. You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose your family. Everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to leave. You're going to get old. And then at the end of the day, your body is going to give you this. You know what this is? Your best friend that you were with for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. You've been together all this time. From the time you were born, you've been with this. And even this, your best friend, at the end of the day is going to give you the finger. Is going to say, fuck you. What happened? We've been together all this time. Now, all of a sudden, I have a brain tumor and I only have 3 months to live. My God, I just retired. I just sold my house. I'm just getting ready to go to Bahamas or to Canary Islands to live with my lover for the rest of my life. I saved all my money and everything. I waited. Now I'm 65 years old. I can go live my dream life. And now I'm dying. They gave me 3 months. Everything in this life, in the world of objects, will betray you. Not might, will. You will be betrayed by everything. Everything will lie to you. Those who love you will hate you. Those who admire you are going to crucify you. That's the nature of this dimension. You cannot be attached to them because they're not real. Not because there's a malice intention, it's just because they're not real. You cannot get attached to things that are not real. You have to discover and be committed to freedom, and freedom, and freedom, and freedom. To be free. And to be free, you have to learn to follow your heart and be honest to yourself. That's the only way. People come to me and they say, "Oh, Zarathustra, can I trust you? You know, da 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 da." I say, you should trust yourself. Trust your own heart. If your heart says, trust Zarathustra, then yes. Oh, can I trust this man? If your heart says yes, then it's a yes. Can I trust this business deal? Is your heart is in it 100%? Then it's a yes. Learn to trust your heart and learn to follow and be honest to your truth. What is your truth? Be honest to that, whatever that is. Because the truth shall set you free. That's our commitment in this life, to freedom, to be free. Any questions, any comments?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you brought it up. Oh, okay, finally this thing. All right, let's see if there are any. question. How can I understand what my heart says and don't mistake it with mind words? Okay, somebody has asked this question, which is it's a very good question, actually. It's valid question on Instagram. Um, figure this out. That is my friend Mosdel dot yoga. So somebody on Instagram is asking, how can I understand what my heart says and don't mistake it with mind words? Anybody has any kind of answer for that? It's something we develop. It's something that the language of the heart is a different language. It has nothing to do with the mind. The mind has this. It's interesting because the deeper you go within yourself, the more sensitive you become in the world of energy, and the more we begin to develop and understand the truth of who we are. We know the language of the heart from childhood because we come from the land of love. And kids are very, very intuitive. Although intellectually, as far as the mind goes, as far as life education, they're young, but their intuition is very, very powerful. And you can see if they can read the energy very easily. They're like animals, like cats or dogs. They read the energy. But as we start growing up, society, our parents, our government, our education keeps banging in our head, like having a hammer hammering in our head to think, think, think. So what happens is we go from the heart, the world, we migrate and we go to the head. So from developing our intuitive knowing, we shift into intellectual understanding. So answering you, my friend, is that you go back to the essence of the truth of who you are. You start paying attention to what feels right, and you can start doing it with small things. It's like, let's say you committed to going to a party. There's an event happening. I use a very simple example. That happens every day, in our lives. And you're invited to go to a birthday party. It's one of your friends. And you've been working, you come home, you're trying to get ready to dress up, but it's just you don't have it in you. It's just not there. You just don't feel like going anywhere. All you want to do is stay home. You want to like to lie down on your bed, watch a movie, maybe having a glass of wine, or listening to some spiritual music, and just be quiet. You inside you don't feel like you have it to go and talk to people. Your intellectual mind says, oh no, this is bad because this is your good friend's birthday party and you have to go there. Or you're going to be missing something because you may miss the love of your life, or you may miss this great party, or it's not good because you promised your other friend you go with your other friend to this party and now you're not going. It's not good. Your mind will tell you these things. So that's the moment that you exercise your commitment to freedom. That means you just, you know what? I don't feel it. So you just stay home. You listen to your soft spiritual music, you meditate, or you watch a movie, or you have a glass of wine, or you do whatever you want to do. And you don't allow your mind dictating to you that you're missing something. Because the mind will come and tell you, you're going to miss something. You miss something. You got to go there. So you start with easy, simple things. And the more you just obey and respond to your heart, the more you get rewarded. Existence will communicate with you. Existence will reward you. It's because you're following the truth of who you are. So things will come to you. Because if you're meant to meet the man of your life or the woman of your life, that can happen at any moment, anywhere. You can be sitting in your apartment or your house, and suddenly someone's knocking on the door or ringing the bell, and you go open up the door, and there he or she is. You don't have to go to clubs or bars or here and there to find a person. If it's meant to happen, existence will bring it to your doorstep. So you're not missing anything. If you're supposed to, if it's supposed to happen in your life, it will happen. Not because of you trying to make it happen, but despite of you trying to make it happen. It's already written. It's there. Now, it may seem like, oh, I went out to a bar or a party, or I socialized and I met the man or the woman of my life. It may look like that. And sometimes it happens that way. But that's not it. If it's meant to be, it will come to you. Doesn't matter where you go. So you just start by simple things, listening to your heart. There's another question here. Dear Zarathustra, in the previous Instagram live, you said God is in both sides of bullies and underdogs. Can you explain it more? I know it's not relevant to the topic we're talking, but I need it, dear. Okay. That's a good one too. I like that one. Okay, here. Where were you in 1991 at the time of your awakening? Do you remember the earthquakes that year? Leah is asking, where were you in 1991? Either I was in San Diego or in India. I don't remember the earthquakes, really, to be honest with you. Where were you? Yeah. Massey Olson. Thank you for explanations. Yeah, you're welcome. Leah, I don't really remember the specifics, to be honest with you, where exactly I was. So it started it from a long time ago. Okay, so we have this other question. Previous Instagram, God is in both sides. Yeah, we're kind of running out of time. I like to. Hilda, will you make a note out of this? I can talk about this for our friend Ali. He's asking, Dear Zarathustra, in previous Instagram live, you said God is in both sides, the bully and underdogs. Can you explain it? And I can talk about it next week.
Yeah, I have it.
I appreciate it because this is this by itself, this is a whole thing. This is like an entire episode. And I'm almost, I mean, it's 1 o'clock. I like to keep going, but it's a very busy time right now for me with my upcoming events. Having 3 events in Poland and Bulgaria and Germany. So if anybody's, some of you I'm going to be seeing, I look forward to seeing. By the way, we're going to have a 4-day retreat in Krakow. So, and the first 26 people can stay in the same building. There's room for 40 people. 26 people can stay in the same building. So I'm just letting you know. I mean, it's more going to be shared rooms with bathrooms, but it's exciting. I'm going to be DJing on Halloween evening, October 31st. And then we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the teachings. So I'm excited. Probably maybe some of our participants in Nove Kavkova, am I pronouncing it correctly? Nove Kavkova may be coming. So I'm excited to come back, return to Europe, and it's been a little bit addictive because we get to see each other and go into this heavenly realms together. And this last retreat we had, there was a lot of love, and I miss you all. It's like anything else, I want more. And it's interesting because in the world of the intellect, in the world of objects, in the 3D world, the more you give, the less you're going to have. So, but in the spiritual world, the more you give, the more you get. And when your heart's open and you feel the presence, you feel the presence of God, you feel the love, and you're not shy, you're open to share it because it's flowing. And it's amazing like how much love comes back to you. And I call that being rich. That's being wealthy. Because I have a lot of wealthy friends, rich friends, which I love them dearly, but they live in fear and anxiety. They're worried about losing their assets or something happens to their health or their kids. They're always living in fear. And to me, they're poor. It's not a knock. It's not like putting them down on anything, but I don't perceive that as richness. Is being rich is when you feel the love within yourself and you're not afraid of sharing it. That's being wealthy. And not operating from a fear space, not operating from this mentality, limited mentality. Yeah, you use your intellect. You're not going to share your secrets with every Tom and Dick and Harry on here and there. But you don't hold your love back. And then the sky's the limit. Existence just keeps pouring it back to you because you become a vessel, you become a conduit of love. And that's our true nature. This is where we came from. Everything else that happens to us, all the roughness, all the toughness, all the viciousness, evil that has happened to all of us in this life, we all have experienced something, whether we've been abandoned or we've been beaten up or we've been lied to or we've been betrayed or we have betrayed. I have been on both sides. All the disappointments that I inflicted on other people and all the disappointments I've gone through, all the good things I've done and all the bad things I've done. Everything was designed to smooth out this diamond because each and every human being on this planet, every being is this precious diamond. The reason you don't really see the light is because it's a rough stone and it needs to be smoothed out. And the more it gets smoothed out, the more precious and clear it becomes, so that its reflection becomes more powerful. But each and every human being is equally has God in them. So we all have it. It's here. It's just to recognize it. And the more you recognize it, the more you calm down, the more you realize like everything is taken care of in your life. Drama is going to happen. The rug is going to get pulled from under your feet. You will be challenged, but it doesn't matter. You stay in your center. You stay in this place that you're trusting life, you're trusting God, because you know you're taken care of. You know you're one with the Father. You know you're one with the Mother. And even though sometimes you lose, you get things come to you. You don't need to worry about it. You just stay in your heart. Everything you need will come to you. This is how it works. That doesn't mean you're not going to get challenged. That's a part of the deal. Getting challenged is a part of signing up to come into this life. But you still stay in your center. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Right. For those of you who are viewing this broadcast on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, my website is zarathustra.tv. Feel free to refer to my website. And if you want to contact us, my email address is info@zarathustra.tv. Those of you who find this program interesting, if you feel like sharing it with any loved ones, I would appreciate it. You may want to forward it to one of your, whomever you feel or you think they may be able to get something out of it. So have a good one, and I look forward to seeing you. Namaste.